You booked a room, you checked the reviews online, you confirmed how close it was to the station, making sure that layover, that rest stop was, well, as efficient and safe as you could make it. The traveler that were heading back to Osaka needed just 2 nights before the flight. And this Japanese hotel, picked specifically because the ratings were so high, it offered that very unique blend of like efficiency and this really pristine calm. It was late April, still had that bit of spring chill outside, but inside, everything felt controlled, safe. The room itself, small, yes, but immaculate, spotless, you know the kind. Single bed, a neat little desk, clean white curtains, that whole aesthetic of perfect order. And it was kind of enhanced by this faint, almost clinical scent of lemon cleaning spray in the air. Everything felt normal. Every single detail just confirmed that feeling that you were undoubtedly safe. The first crack in that feeling of safety, it was subtle, very easy to dismiss, happened on the first night. The traveler kept waking up, not from a bad dream or anything, but from a sound. A soft, sort of rhythmic creaking sound. Now, in that moment, your mind, it just jumps to explanations, right? Rational ones. Oh, it must be the building settling. Or maybe the heating pipes, the radiator, just the floorboards expanding, contracting with the temperature change. That's all. Just a momentary annoyance, not a threat. And by the next morning, the room had completely reverted. Back to its silent, tidy self. The coffee cup, half full on the desk. Clothes folded neatly nearby. The little anomaly from the night, forgotten. That normalcy, the normalcy of the next day. It's the main thing we use, isn't it? To dismiss the unease from the night before. It was that second evening, though. Getting back to the room around, say, 10 p.m., that's when the rationalization started to feel a bit strained. The moment the door clicked shut, the air in the room just felt wrong, different. There was a smell. Now, it wasn't like sewage, nothing obviously disgusting. It was just off. The account describes it very specifically, like a lingering mix of damp towel, maybe, and something metallic. So the traveler checks the bathroom, finds it empty, obviously, and immediately goes to the standard explanation again. Must be the pipes, the building's drainage. They rationalized it away again, determined to just settle in, get some rest before the early flight. But that smell, that scent of something, like wet and slightly inorganic, it was evidence, wasn't it? Evidence of a presence, something sustained that hadn't been properly cleaned or aired out. It was a sign, really. A sign that something was living in a space designed just for temporary stays. Now we approach the moment it becomes undeniable. Midnight. The room was dark, quiet. It had that peculiar, really deep silence you only get in, like a well-insulated hotel room. And then it wasn't silent anymore. The traveler woke up to the sound of breathing, slow, rhythmic, and close, far too close to be coming from outside the room. That moment of peak tension. It's always accompanied by that frantic search for a logical out, isn't it? Is it the air vent whistling? Is it just my own heartbeat thudding in my ears? The traveler, lying there, paralyzed but completely alert, held their breath, just listened, waited for the sound to stop. But the breathing, it continued, steady, unbroken. It was external. It was undeniably in the room with them, switching on the bedside lamp that provided a visual confirmation that was almost more terrifying than the darkness had been, because the room looked exactly the same. The white curtains, the sterile walls, the desk, everything in its place. But the heart was just racing, pounding at this absolute proof that something was deeply wrong, a violation. Fear often freezes you, we know that. But here, the account described something else taking over. A grim kind of curiosity, maybe. Driven by necessity, it overrode the panic. They slipped off the bed, quietly. Lowered themselves down to the floor, crouching low, trying to stay unseen. And then at that slow, agonizing lift of the comforter's edge, just an inch or two. And there it was, staring right back. From that narrow strip of darkness under the bed frame, a pair of eyes. Your mind just goes blank. For half a second, maybe, frozen. The shock is absolute. The reaction was pure instinct, throwing the heavy bedside lamp, missing completely, by the way, and then just bolting, running, out into the hallway, still in socks, frantically jamming the elevator button over and over, screaming the only thing that mattered, the urgent truth, to the security guard who finally arrived. Someone's in my room. It doesn't just end with the scary part, with the narrative tension. It really begins there, where the terror starts to meet the cold, hard facts of the situation. When security carefully opened the door, the man, well, he did exactly what the traveler's panic flight probably allowed him to do. He gave up. He just crawled out. No resistance at all. He was described as thin, disoriented, and apparently only capable of mumbling something about needing to stay just one more night. Okay. And right here, this is where we get the piece of information, the knowledge nugget that takes us beyond just a chilling story, takes us into the realm of security analysis. This man, he wasn't a registered guest. The hotel staff, working with the police investigators, they figured out this wasn't just a one-off trespass. No, this was an established, invisible occupation. He had been slipping into vacant rooms. specifically targeting rooms that were maybe scheduled for longer vacancies or weren't booked immediately. He'd been doing this for weeks. Just think about that for a second. Weeks. In an environment, a Japanese hotel renowned globally for its meticulousness, for its absolute commitment to order, to tidiness. An individual was able to maintain a completely unseen residence. What does that tell you? The man apparently just waited under the bed, sometimes even sleeping right through the brief cleaning cycle. Or maybe slipping back inside just before the door lock fully registered the room status as occupied again, or confirmed it was vacant for the system. The evidence the police found under the mattress. It wasn't the stuff of horror movies, not knives or anything sinister like that. It was just the mundane evidence of survival. Instant noodle wrappers, discarded snack packets, and the essential tool for his hidden existence, a small flashlight. He wasn't some monster from a nightmare. He was a human being who had found and then exploited a critical physical vulnerability in the hotel's security design. The traveler understandably never went back to that room. They spent the rest of the night down the lobby, just staring at the automatic glass doors, watching people come and go. And this reflective time, sitting there, the lesson wasn't really about the man who got caught. It was about that immediate shift from feeling completely safe just moments before to the absolute crushing certainty that the safety had been an illusion all along. It's that gap, isn't it? The gap between perceived security and actual vulnerability. That's what the story just throws into sharp relief. When you rely on order, on tidiness, on the reputation of a place being controlled, you create blind spots for anything or anyone that operates outside that expected order. The lemon cleaning spray, the neat white curtains. They actually acted as a kind of perfect camouflage, convincing the traveler, convincing you perhaps that the space was known, managed, predictable, safe. It's that unsettling realization, I think. The environment's designed to promise absolute perfection, total order. Security breaches aren't always loud or violent. They can be sustained, invisible, silent, hidden in the negative space. The space under the bed in a room we already assume is empty. That room, that specific single room, with its spotless aesthetic. It still exists online. You can probably find it. You can still see the photos. The neat desk, the white curtains, the clean mattress cover, and the description. It remains exactly the same. Cozy single room, perfect for solo travelers.